Hello everybody, Killatia here, and this is what I'm going to be considering the official Day 1 vlog of E3 2012 for myself. And today was pretty much press conference day with Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony. And there was Konami amongst the line somewhere, but I decided to skip that, and also have to apologize for some of the background noise. My roommate is like taking a quick shower there. So anyways, let's talk about Microsoft first. Like, before we talk about Microsoft, I have probably like a funny story. Probably not too funny, but like it was still like a funny moment to me. Like, I asked one of my game associates to like give me a call so I can like get up early, get dressed, get showered, and just flat out be ready for the convention. Well, instead, he decided to like text me, and I just woke up like a half hour later, not noticing that text. So like, I am like so embarrassed to be waking up so early. Like, it's gonna be starting soon. So like, I would like skip the showers. Like, I would grab whatever I could with me and just ran out the door to get to the Microsoft press conference. Now, normally I would have done like the smart thing and call a taxi, but because of that embarrassing moment and that idea of me being like late, I decided to just run out the door, just like ran to the Microsoft press conference. And in retrospect, that was a bad idea because I was like 3 miles away, like probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half away. And that convention and that press conference was going to start within the same time frame. So like, oh fuck! Like, but you know what? I actually managed to make those 3 miles. I managed to get to Microsoft press conference like, a little bit late. I missed the Halo 4 trailer, but I managed to get there. I was determined to make it there, not to miss it, and that's the end of that story. So like, next time, be sure your friend will call you. Otherwise, like, you'll be wanting 3 miles, hoping you make it on time. Anyways, now to the oh, excuse me, had a little soda earlier today. Anyways, as far as the Microsoft press conference is concerned, maybe it was because I was there, but I actually enjoyed the press conference this year. Like, oh, excuse me again. I call my Facebook friends, like, they didn't seem to like it. I mean, I can understand why, because like it was like heavily focused on like all these video products and such, and like towards the end, Usher just came in dancing for Dance Central 3 for like no reason other than to just dance. But they had some interesting things. So like, the most interesting thing they had at the Microsoft press conference was the Xbox shit, what was it called again? Like, I had it off the top of my head. Xbox, like, I'll have to edit that in later in the video if I can't remember. Like, but it was like, it's like an interesting concept. Like, you can literally hook your tablet or smartphone to your Xbox system, and that can literally become your second controller. Kind of similar to that of the Wii U. But beyond gaming capabilities, you could also like be watching like a television show through your Xbox, and there'll be extra information on your tablet or smartphone. So like, yeah, that's very interesting indeed. Like, as far as the games are concerned, yeah, you had your like, excuse me, I'm just looking for the words here. They had your expected games like Black Ops 2, Halo 4, Gears of War, Splinter Cell. That wasn't really expected, but at the same time, it's one of those games that you would expect to be at a Microsoft press conference. But it also has some interesting one too, like this one Xbox Live Connect game called Racketeer. Like, I tweeted about this and people seem to agree with me. It looks like Angry Birds on steroids here. It's like, see the trailer for Wreck-It, you'll see what I mean. And they showed up the South Park RPG, which is now being called South Park The Stick of Truth, and the trailer was pretty epic and it really fit the South Park theme, and like, I'm definitely gonna be looking for that when it releases next year. So like, that's all I have to say about Microsoft's press conference. Like, it was good. I can see like people hated it, but you know, I still enjoy myself. For EA, I could not get into EA. Like, I tried to, but I could not. Now we'll move on to Ubisoft in just 1 second. Let me just get a little bit of drink here. As far as Ubisoft is concerned, for me it was worse. For everybody else it was the best. But here's why it was worse for me, because first of all, I really wasn't really invited to the Ubisoft press conference. Well, technically, I wasn't invited to any of the press conference today, but I still managed to get to like all of them except EA. But anyway, back to Ubisoft. But I did try to get into this, but through their get some kind of registration done on site. But apparently, I was in the wrong line. So like, and that was like, oh man, because that took like 10 minutes to get through that line, so I had to go to the other line to get to that registration, like, and then like another 20 minutes later, they pretty much let everybody that wasn't registered inside. But instead of going inside the sitting area, we went downstairs to the ballroom, or for what it should be really called, the basement, and which is like, okay. They have a TV that would have like a live stream of the press conference, okay, which is like, okay, fair enough. I mean, I wasn't really invited to that anyways. But here's the thing, they didn't do a good job on that part. Like, unless they were showing gameplay footage or showing off of game trailers, the Ubisoft live streaming in the basement was basically a black screen with audio commentaries over it. Like, you were pretty much listening to radio at that point. And for that to happen, I would have been better off just watching a live stream of Ubisoft press conference. And to add insult to injuries, we were all told to get out of the basement because there was room inside the theater room, the real theater room. So we're like, okay, let's get the hell out of here. But like, once we got up there, like a whole line of Ubisoft staff got in front of us and said like, sorry, no more room, you're gonna have to go back to the ballroom. And we're like, oh, for fuck's sakes, why did you have to be a troll, Ubisoft? Like some of my God Game Associated was like saying like, oh, they were doing you a favor that's letting you be in that building in the first place. I mean, they were kind of right, because like I said, I wasn't really invited, but at the same time, they could have done a little bit better than like half radio, half gameplay footage. Despite that, I did like many of the games they did show off, like Rayman Legends for the Wii U. Like, at first I thought it was like a simple like sequel to Rayman Legends. Excuse me. My apologies, but once they show off a second level where it was pretty much like a rhythm-based level, like every jump and every enemy hit was like a music note, I was like, that's it, I'm getting that game for the Wii U this fall. Like, and then Assassin's Creed 3, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, but the concept of it being in the American Revolutionary War has piqued my interest, and apparently so has a couple of my other friends, so I'm keeping my eyes on that. And the last game I want to talk about is Watch Dogs. It's like, the best way I can describe it is like, kind of like GTA, only instead of like hijacking cars, you can hack into people's devices, which has all been connected to a very single network. So like, oh wow, that's very interesting. Like, I'm gonna keep my eyes out for that. And that Ubisoft press conference, like, a bad experience, but they did show off some good games. And then the last one that I went to today was the Sony press conference. Like, I actually did like a smaller vlog of that while I was there. Didn't get too much footage, but I'm planning to make that into a separate video. And then I'm gonna like splice in pictures I took at that press conference into said videos. Like, so anyways, the Sony press conference was amazing. And no, I'm not saying that just because I got PlayStation Plus for a year for free, but like they had like an awesome assortment of games like God of War Ascensions, The Last of Us, this new one from the makers of Heavy Rain called Beyond, which looked pretty sweet. And then they had they showed up a little bit of PlayStation also Battle Royale, which, like, I still think that is like a Smash Bros. Clone, and they're not making any excuses for it. But it still looks like a good game. A very well done Smash Bros. Clone. But they did show up something called a Wonder Book here that works with the PlayStation Move. It pretty much one huge augmented reality games, but without the cards, but with books. Like, really? Well, the concept that they showed wasn't, I don't think it was too bad, but it didn't sell me on the concept, so that's gonna be a skip for that. But overall, the PlayStation press conference for me was the best of the three that I went to. Okay, so that's the end of my ramble. I literally went over 12 minutes on this. Wasn't expecting to, but hey, I had a lot to talk about here. I hope you watch all of it and such. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day for me as well, because not only is there going to be a Nintendo press conference, but E3 will officially begin there. So I'm gonna go edit this vlog real quick. Well, not too much editing, but make it so I can like upload it to my account quickly and get to sleep as soon as I can, because like I'm gonna need all the sleep I can, especially with the morning I had. So see you gamers later, and thank you for lasting 13 minutes for this vlog. Good night, everybody.